Imperial Nemesis, and today I bring the first podcast by me featuring the guest Pennywise.
What up?
So Pennywise is Pennywise. That's his IGN. He's a Masters player, and he's a part of the L9 Club. And what other clubs are you part of?
Scary and a loon.
Awesome. Well, let's start off with some basic questions. So, what are your hobbies besides League?
Hobbies besides league. I'm actually a dancer. I like to
Whoa.
read. Big into politics and stuff like that.
Uh-huh. Since you mentioned that, what are your go-to orders at your favorite hometown restaurant?
My go-to, since I mentioned it, my go-to order. I think Jersey Mike's is probably my favorite around me.
Uh-huh. What's your favorite dish or order from there?
It's a number 8, like club sub, but you get that bitch like gigantic and then get extra meat. So it's literally like just a ginormous. Like you only have to eat one of those for the day and then you're good.
Uh-huh. So, what is something that people seem to misunderstand about you?
Misunderstand about me. People think that I'm toxic. This is not the case. I am merely encouraging them through different means of communication.
So, when you're referring to toxicity, are you talking about in-game or IRL as well?
No, in game. IRL, I'm chill. In game, like I'm trying to win, and like the North American mentality is to not try to win, so it just tilts me beyond belief.
Understandable. So, since you mentioned that, what makes you feel inspired or like your best self?
Makes me feel inspired or like my best self.
Mhm.
Winning at everything, all the time. I just can't get enough of it.
Uh-huh.
It's my inspiration. Victory. The victory royale is my inspiration. What
The
brings out the best in
victory.
me.
The
Yeah.
victory royale of real life and League of
Yeah.
Legends.
Precisely.
Well,
Indubitably.
understandable. Winning is the key fun part about League of Legends. Would you agree?
Not necessarily, because like if you go 0-10 every single game and have no impact in the game and you just get carried and win, it's kind of feels like shit. It's kind of like where jungle was or in the preseason, where it's like I pray to God my mid laner's the best, so I end up winning, and winning like that feels like garbage. But winning because you actually like did something and had impact on the game is the better choice in my opinion.
But do you get honored after that? That's the real question.
I never get on any. Nope. I get flamed.
Well, then follow up to that. What is the best compliment that you've ever received? Could be IRL, could be in League of Legends.
Best compliment I've ever received. I think Chase Shaco said my Shaco support was really good
Ooh,
one time.
Chase Shaco, huh?
The second best Shaco in the North America, below me.
Damn, second below. Damn, the confidence. I like that. So, what would you say that are the 3 words that your friends would describe you as? I'm not
Uh,
talking about leaks.
3 words that would best describe me that my friends would say: psychotic,
Ooh.
narcissistic,
Oh,
God Shaco player. All one
God,
word.
Shaco. God tier Shaco player.
Yeah, but like all one word. Just remove the spaces and you got it.
Well, the last part of this casual round is if you could have dinner with any 3 people, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Dinner with any 3 people. I would have dinner with, I think, Shayclone, Hashinshin, and the Rain Man, and simply because I want to hear like their autism and like their tears about the game all like kind of culminize into one solid being, and for me to digest that and finally become the person I was always meant to be.
Uh-huh. So you want to basically assert dominance in that dinner.
Yeah, I basically want to become the ultimate life form by absorbing their life essence. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yes, sir.
Mhm.
Sounds like some movie or from Dragon Ball Z where you have the Cell who basically
Yeah,
consumes everyone to become the most powerful one out there.
yeah. I basically want to round up all the salty Shaco players into one room and then just like consume them until I can become the ultimate life form. But
I see. Then would you say that all Shaco players are like that? They want to assert dominance on every other Shaco player.
no, I don't think so. I think Shaco players aren't like super. What would the word like alpha? Like I
Super
want to be the
alpha.
best.
Hmm.
I'm just like a psycho. So
Well, since you mentioned that, what champion players would you say have that kind of a mentality where they want to show that they're the best with this champion, not just on their own champion, but in the Rift?
probably
Which
Draven.
players? Draven mains? What about
Yeah,
Darius?
Darius. I don't really. I don't think I've ever seen like a Darius main, like a
Uh-huh.
Darius one trick.
Makes
So I don't know
sense.
about them. I know
Uh-huh.
Ivern mains are also known for their extreme levels of testosterone.
Ivern, the irrelevant champion.
Mm-hmm.
Sad announcement by Riot. They thought they would make a successful champion, but lowest play rate.
That's the Vern, baby. They must have forgot.
Oh yeah, but mentioning that, they did play Ivern ADC yesterday. Tyler 1 whipped out Ivern ADC and Sneaky was playing Rengar.
Ooh. Yeah, that's what we call preseason, and I'd like it to end as soon as possible.
No, but this was in All Stars though. This was pro play. The first
Oh,
pro play with the new patch.
that's great. Now I can't wait to have tons of North American degenerates watching these streams. I'm gonna be the next title, but Sneaky did it, and then they run it down in my solo queue game, and we wonder why our region's dog shit. Thank you, T1. Thank you, Sneaky.
So do you think people in your elo are more inclined to do that, or do you think it's more in lower elos?
I think it's just the entirety of the region. It's weird to me because I've been just playing purely norms because I can't stand the amount of Chinese players on in my ranked game, and the level of competitiveness in norms far surpasses that of our ranked
Oh
game.
yeah,
Because for
definitely.
some reason it's just like cool not to try and ranked. You'll get it all the time. Somebody be like 0-2 and you'd be like, why are you feeling like I don't even care about the game. Or I'll be like, why are you first timing Rise as a support main in the mid lane? Like, because I don't even care, dude. It's just a game. It's like, yeah, norms is just a game. Ranked
True.
actually has some level of consequence to it. Because if you can get to the forefront or the very top of the ladder, you can actually do with it quite a few things, in my humble opinion. But shit like this, where T1 plays Ivern, 80 carry, and Sneaky's Rengar boss. Like, I get it as preseason, but it's like you're on the main stage, you realize that the retards, the autists who are infesting my solo queue games that have probably cost me upwards of like 30 losses are just going to
Yikes.
swell up now. That'll be 50 losses now.
Ooh.
But whatever, at least they had fun, I guess.
Well, they had fun. I mean, they saw it on stream and they did it. I do remember when in Worlds 2017, I think, when they had the Ash and MF bot. My game next morning, Ash MF bot.
Yeah, the MF support shit is like they saw it on a stream and they just pick it. They don't realize that the only reason MF was a strong support is because she hard countered Zyra, who was the number one support at the time, and it was a
Ooh.
purely pocket pick. They just see, like I'm saying, low IQ, autistic. They're just like, but like no, you don't understand anything about the game. Stop trying to do what these people who are like 50 times better than you are trying to do.
True.
Or like at least learn why you're doing it. Like I just, yeah,
You're not
I just
wrong
do be like
there.
that sometimes.
It really do be. Now, moving forward to some early stages of League of Legends for you. How did you start playing League of Legends? How did you get to know about it? What made you interested in it?
I started in season 6, and I got interested, I think, because I was mainly playing StarCraft 2 at the time, and I think it was just kind of dying. It was like at the end of HOTS, beginning of Legacy of the Void, where the game just kind of became not StarCraft 2 and just became some dumb thing for Chinese players to play. I was
Uh-huh.
looking for something to play. I'd heard of League of Legends for like a while before, but I was kind of like a hipster. I was like, I don't want to play it because it's the most popular, and then I kind of just caved. And then yeah, I just downloaded it. I think I started off playing like Morgana and Kha'Zix in like my early days of not knowing what the fuck I was doing. I
Hmm.
transitioned to being a Teemo one trick with a Heimerdinger secondary,
Timo.
and then eventually I found Shaco, and I was like, hey, this champion's really cool. The rest is history.
Rest is history from there. Well, you
Hmm.
already answered my question that I was gonna ask is what season do you start playing? Well, now moving forward, then would be what do you wish you had known when you started playing League?
The amount of emotional toll this game takes on my brain, not worth
True.
at all. It's like, I think if anything, I enjoyed it way more when I was just like a brainless, like fucking low elo player. I had no idea what was going on. I was just kind of like, ooh, I'm gonna build ZZ Rot first on Shaco and put it in a losing lane, and that's how I'm gonna win the game. But now it's like, yeah, I'm gonna play perfectly, and then my fucking mid laner's a Chinese player, so we're gonna lose because the other players have brains. It's just like
Damn.
I probably wouldn't have started playing had I known like the timeline of it. Maybe it'll be worth. Maybe I like pop off and like actually end up like gaining a following, like start streaming this shit or whatever. But right now it's like this game fucking just sucks, dude. It's not
True.
worth.
True.
I
Well,
remember playing like Halo fucking Reach, pretty much like every single like Renaissance of gaming type shit,
yeah.
and never have was it like this bad where it's just like I physically sometimes just hate playing the game and I just have to stop.
True. I certainly agree with you there because other games they don't tilt you as much when you lose. But this game has some magical effect to it that makes you tilt. Just one GG easy, one question mark, one ping can trigger you. Am I right here?
I mean, that stuff doesn't get me so much because like I am the pinnacle of flame. I would rather people flame than what gets me is the people who don't try. It's like you queue up for a competitive game mode in ranked.
Hmm.
There's this game is literally purely casual outside of the one mode that you're queuing up for, which is solo queue. And you're gonna queue up for that and not try. You're gonna first time a champion in it. You're auto filled, so you're just not gonna care. You're not gonna dodge. You're just gonna first time some champion in a role you've never played. You died one time, so now you're just gonna FF, despite the fact that I'm like 3-0 in the jungle. And the bot lane's with 8. Like it's just the lack of like care that people have is just really annoying. I get it, it's a game, but like this is the only competitive side of the game. Everything
True.
else about the game is just a game. This is the only part that is competitive, and you just refuse to like actually give it any sort of effort. And I think that just tilts me the most because then it reflects on me. Then I look bad when I have fucking like a 51% win rate master tier. It's like I really,
You get
the
looked down
early
upon.
season. Yeah, the early season, I think I had like 70 plus losses strictly because of the what was it, the positional rankings, and people just not caring, and they would just throw, and I would just like I just had to stop for like I think the first like 4 months of the season I just didn't play.
Wow. 4 months, that's a long time to drop out.
Yeah, I came back at the end of the season. Obviously, we grind back up. We hit Masters for the first season, and
Damn.
but of course now it's just taken away. Now everyone's like, oh, well, you hit Masters in season 9, it doesn't matter because of positional queue. But it's like, well, I did it at the end of the season, but I see what you're getting at, and I've met those players whose MMR is simply cemented because they played a lot of games. But I don't know. It's just Riot has done everything in their power to make being good at this game, make playing this game at a competitive level not worth it.
I agree to most parts of what you say. Going back to the earlier phase of League, can you describe some of the major changes that you saw and experienced throughout the time from like season 6 up till season 9?
On season 6, I enjoyed playing champions that are bad. I enjoyed playing Shaco because you could not play Shaco above a Diamond 3 level. Uh, Seriously, or you would be trolling because he fell off past 15 minutes. I enjoyed playing like Urgot. I enjoyed playing old Yorick. I enjoyed
Or
playing,
God.
all these really niche and Volibear, and my playstyle was mainly the gates. Was Trick 2G. That was who I really based my playstyle off of. That was what I enjoyed playing, and that has been completely taken away. My champion that I liked has been completely taken away. The jungle that I enjoyed playing has been completely taken away. Now it's something completely different. If you look back to it, Season 6 Shaco jungle, level 2, you were invading the red buff, and you were trying to solo kill the enemy, and you were trying to snowball from minute 3. Like, you were cheesing. I did this thing where I'd like stack boxes in the bush where chickens are, where the enemy would transition from blue to their red. They'd walk into the bush, all 4 boxes would hit them. I'd queue over with ignite. I'd proc Thunderlords and one shot. You know what I mean? All this like crazy intuitive, creative shit. Because my champion just was kind of not good, and I didn't mind so much. But it was the play style. It was like that's what I enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
That's completely gone now. Shaco, if you're invading, you're trolling. If you're you can't really split push. You can't open the gates because the items just don't even exist anymore. It's like there's no more like adrenaline. There's no more like love for my champion even. Like, I used to get like anxiety in champ select, hoping that my champion would not get banned. Hopefully that mainly for my teammates, because your teammates would just ban your champion until Shaco started running it down, and then everyone started just running it down when they banned our champion, and then they learned real quick. But yeah, I'd say that's the main thing, and it's just a completely different game. It's not what I enjoy, but it's just what I've adapted to.
What were things that tilted you earlier when you first started playing League that don't tilt you now, and vice versa?
Things that tilted me before. I mean, I think people flaming tilted me before, because I was like, I don't know. You just get tilted when people talk shit to you, but eventually over time it just becomes the same thing. Even now, it just becomes the same stale, like, oh, you're bad, this is your win rate, this is your KDA. It's like, well, the reason my win rate, the KDA, is like all these things that just don't really matter. And now it's like you L9 cringe. It's like, I've never heard that before, man. It's like, are you EU? Did you pay for it? He's like, no, I didn't pay for it, man, but you're really creative, you're really funny. It's like, Shaco, you know what I mean? Like, you hear all the like 5 points. It's the same stupid, this streamer said X, so I'm gonna say X. It's like, oh, your win rate, oh, you're cringe, oh, you're this, you're playing that here. It's like, it just doesn't bother me anymore. And I think before, what didn't bother me was people playing poorly because I was playing poorly, and now it just bothers the shit out of me. At least when it comes from like a high level. Like, if I look at excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. No, I'm not gonna sneeze. We're fucked. Okay. Oh, thank God.
Bless you.
If I look like a silver player and he's playing like a silver player, I'm not gonna get upset that the silver player is playing like a silver player. But if I look at a diamond player and the diamond player is playing like a silver player, I'm gonna be upset because the diamond player should be playing like a diamond player. This is literally the top 1%, and that's just it just tilts the shit out of me now. But I'd say that's the synopsis of the tilt.
We have a fan saying hi. XLolcats. Hi, Pennywise.
Is that fan? Wait, that's my friend list.
Live on stream.
Oh yeah, that's the ADC.
Now, moving forward, when did you start playing League or ranked seriously?
Seriously, I think that's pretty recent. I think every season I've made it a point to go up a rank. So season 6, I think I ended gold. Season 7, I ended plat. Season 8, I ended diamond. Season 9, I ended masters. Well, I decayed out of masters and got D1, but I was doing certain things that required my attention. But I think very recently I've been like, oh wait, like, I'm actually pretty good at the game if I actually apply myself and really like sit down and be investing brain power and time into the game. I could maybe do something with this. So I think that's a very recent development, whereas before it was just kind of like, I would watch. I'm really good at like copying people, so I'd watch people like Shaco in season 6 and season 7, and I'd, pick up certain things, learn item builds and kind of just get better the more you play it, because this game is really not hard, but it's really difficult at the same time. Because you have to dump an enormous amount of time into it to remain consistent to get better at it. Whereas other games like, I don't know, like Mortal Kombat, you just kind of like learn the move set. You apply the
Yeah.
move set. You go to the practice tool like 3 times, and then all you're learning is matchups.
Mm-hmm.
There's 128 plus matchups in this game.
Yeah.
You're taking into account objectives, how lanes push, like wave management, this blood, that, the vision, ward, this. It's just a lot insane. So I'd say very recently I've just started taking it seriously and hit Masters. I think I peaked like 78 LP Masters this season. So next season I'll probably be aiming for Grand Masters, or like Challenger. We'll see just how it goes. I'll have to expand. Well, I'm expanding my champion pool, and then the next season after that I'll try to hit Challenger, and that's just kind of been my goal moving forward. But we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Well, since you mentioned that you played a lot, on average, how long do you play per day?
How long do I play per day? Really, realistically, when I'm trying to like climb, I would only play like 2 or 3 games a day.
Wow.
I would, because more recently it's been different. Now I can play like 8 games in a row and be fine. But before, like the worst part about my play, you have to recognize like the worst part about yourself, and the worst part about my play is my mental. It's like I tilt really easily or really quickly. So before, to avoid this, I would simply play a game. If it's a win, if I'm feeling good, I queue up for another. If it's a win but I'm not feeling good, I don't play, because it's better. Like if you play 12 games a day, but you lose 6, win 6, you've made no progress. If you play 1 game a day, win 1, and then don't play at all, you've made progress for the day. So it's not always about dumping as much time into ranked as possible. Sometimes it's about putting the most, like, okay, I'm feeling good, I'm hydrated, I just got done working out, I've eaten, I'm feeling fully there, let's, practice the norm, and then we'll hop in a rank, we'll give it our full effort, you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, like you said about that, do you think that losses motivate you to keep playing, or do you feel that you should take a break? Because most league players are like, nope, I gotta win. I gotta keep playing till I win.
I'd say it's really dependent. I think it's more like who you are as a player. For me, losses aren't really the worst thing in the world, because when you're trying to climb, you should realistically be focusing purely on your own play and not the win rate, and not like the KDA. You should be trying to make as many good decisions as humanly possible. That doesn't really tilt me as much. The losses that come more from like my team, like if I'm like 8-0 and I lose, then yeah, I'm tilted. I'm not playing for the rest of the game or the rest of the day. But if I'm just like, if I'm like 5-3-4, our whole team has like various KDAs, and I'm trying to do the best I can, but the enemy is just outclassing us, then it's like, okay, this just wasn't even possible. We're gonna queue up again. I'm feeling fine. Stuff like that.
Was there a phase in your league career where you prioritized league over everything else?
Yeah. So my sister passed away of cancer when I was like 13, 14. It's all just a big ass blur. And I hadn't fully coped with that. I haven't fully worked out the kinks of my emotions. So when I was going to college, I think when I was like 18 or 19, I'd get like severe anxiety every time I'd go outside, and I'd just kind of like hermit myself in depression. And the one thing that really helped was just like playing League. So I would just, I wouldn't eat for days. I'd just stay playing League because it was the only thing that kind of like distracted me from everything. It was, the only escape I had. So I'd say, yeah, there were times where it's just kind of become my focal point.
Well, moving on to modern times then, what do you think of the last 3 seasons in terms of balanced, new champions, rift changes? So let's say from season 6 to 9.
Season 6 to 9. So season 6 was pretty tank meta. Season 7, I don't even remember. Season 8, I don't even remember. I think season 8 was the Shaco changes. Season 8 was the Assassin rework, I'm pretty sure. The thing is, I don't really remember the seasons. You kind of like just forget about them because the dichotomy of the game changes so much that you really can't, I think you could sum up each season with one word. It's like, oh, well, season 6 was tank meta, season 7 was like Ardent, season 8 was Assassin rework meta, season 9 was some abomination of whatever the hell was going on there, and then season 10 will probably be whatever the hell is going to happen here, probably something bad again. But I don't. I'd say it's progressively. I don't know. I think it's gotten good. It's gotten better. It's gotten worse. it's gotten worse in the aspect like strategy is basically completely null from the game. It's about as like strategic as chess. If you've ever seen the highest levels of chess, it's more of a memory game of like certain plays. It's not so much like this strategic, positioning and this and that. It's like, okay, I've
Uh-huh.
watched this amount of games, I've memorized these situations and what the right play is in these situations based on previous situations like this. And that's what the game is now. It's like, oh, I've seen this before, and this worked last time, but this didn't work last time, so now I do this. It's not so much like, okay, I'm gonna, we're gonna push this lane out with the ZZ rod, and I'm gonna run all the way up here. It's like everyone's dashing around. Team fights are happening 24/7. It's a
Mm-hmm.
5v5 perma, like past like minute 50 or 15 minutes. So I'd say that's like the main bad. But the good thing is, I think in terms of like champions, it's gotten a lot like more fun. Like there's a lot more opportunity for mechanical outplay,
Yeah.
depending on what champion you decide to dump your time into.
Mm-hmm. Since we are talking about seasons, in season 9, since you hit Masters, which hurdles did you personally face and how did you overcome them?
Hurdles, I think.
Challenges.
I think accepting loss was the biggest hurdle I have gotten over in season 9. So I didn't think about skill. There was this StarCraft 2 player who was talking about this recently. I forget his name. I think it was like Pig or something. He was, or no, it was Nero. So he was like, skill level is a lot like the tides of the ocean. It's like, so you are basically always at a certain base. Let's say your skill level is like D1. But on certain days, you're going to have different things that are happening. Let's say something's happening in your personal life that's really eating away at your head, so you're not thinking straight. So now your skill level is going to be on low tide. You're going to be at like a D2 level. You're going to be losing games, and that's okay. And then the next day, you're going to be at a high point. You're going to be at high tide. Things are going good. You're eating, you're hydrating, your life is happy, you're happy. So now you're playing at an accelerated level. So it's okay for you to have these days where, like, I would demote from Masters all the way down to D3. And I'd be like, that is okay. That is just how skill level works. I don't, because I hold myself to a really high standard.
Mm-hmm.
So when things like that happen, it just tilts me because I feel like everyone's looking at me all the time. I feel like everyone's talking, very paranoid. I'm like, please,
Yeah.
very insecure. It's like I don't want to look like I'm bad. I want to be the best. I want to be the best. I want to be the greatest. That's okay. It's like, accept the loss. You are a master tier player. Simply go back, and that's what would happen. And I would be like, okay, we demoted. We had a lot of losses. That's fine. New day. And, we'd go back up, D2, D1. We'd be at a high point, and then demote from Master Tier again. I'd go down to, like, only D2 this time. And again, we go up. I'd peak at, like, Masters 11 LP, and then I'd demote back down. And then I'd peak at, like, Masters 45 LP, and then I'd go back down. And then I'd peak at, like, Masters 75 LP, and then I'd go back down. And that's kind of, like, where I stayed. And I was like, all right, I'm good for the season. Season ends in, like, 2 weeks. I'm done. So stuff like that is probably the biggest hurdle, where it's like, you are not always going to be on your A game. You are not always going to be what your peak is. Sometimes you're gonna have a low point, sometimes you're gonna have a high point. So I'd say that is the best hurdle that I've gotten over in season 9.
Definitely. Well, then, what do you think are your unique skills as a player, as a Shaco player, that helped you hit Masters? Not just Shaco player, but in general, as a league player yourself.
I'd say my best. I think I'm the best at vision manipulation. What this means is, so I've been playing Shaco for so long. I am really good at skirting the outskirts of enemy vision, even if I can't see it. You can't see where the enemy can or can't see, and I think that's one of the best things about my play is I'm able to get these really weird and janky ganks simply because I'm going on the cusp of their vision and making a play right there. So I'd say that and my decision making. Shaco mechanics are just kind of a given. I have over a million mastery points. If you haven't got it at that point, you're just never going to. So,
well, would you consider yourself leading your team, or do you think that you just give them a lead and after that they're the ones who need to do everything else?
It's a give and take situation. So there's this big misconception that season 6, you're taking all your laners farm, you're taking all the, this, that, and the other thing. Your team is fueling you, you are the carry. That really doesn't exist anymore. It's really team-oriented. So it's a very give and take situation where you want to build yourself a lead and be strong, but at the same time, you're basically corralling sheep. Your team are sheep. They don't really know what they're doing ever. You just need to make it as hard as possible for them to lose. That's been the basic synopsis of like my playstyle for season 9. And so you got to get them all the objectives. You got to make sure they have all the farm. Give them the lane, gank their shit. So my playstyle for season 9 I'd basically early game power gank, and then mid game my team would carry, and then late game I'd farm it up and come back and be the late game carry, which doesn't really work anymore. Now it's kind of weird, but that's something I'm still figuring out. So it's a little bit of a give and take. The idea of the solo carry doesn't really exist unless you're playing like the tier 1 champions, but I don't like playing tier 1 champions because it's boring. It's like, oh, I won this lane because I picked Jax. It's like, okay, I mean, I guess like you can win because you're champion, but that's not really gratifying to me. Yeah, it's like I picked Jax, so I win. I mean, I guess. Like you told me, Pennywise, you could be challenger, but you just have to play Jax every single game. And I'd be like, no. Pennywise, you could be challenger. You just have to pick like Sejuani every single game. No, I don't want to. It's boring. Like I want to play what I want to play in the play style that I want to play it, and be the best.
True.
So
that's where the fun lies. Getting to challenger with your own champion, not being a meta slave and just relying on the meta.
Yeah, like these dudes who are like, oh, U.GG, what do my Korean overlords say is the best? Oh, I'm gonna build so many D-Blades on my AD carry because the Korean overlords say it is the best. It's like, bro, just do what you want, man. Like that's so lame. Every time I see that, I know that it's just some weird Korean. I know that it's not you. Like there's no personality there. It's like when I hit Masters with pre-rework Shaco support, that was like an actual achievement. Like that's some next level. Okay, that's pretty impressive. If you hit Masters spamming like what Jax Akali, like TF Blade, like spamming like Aurelia Akali Jax at top, like I mean, yeah, you need some mechanics and some game skill to play those champions, but they're the best. They're tier 1. It's like they win the game for you. They simply play themselves. It's like not really that impressive. It's like if you get master tier at like singed mid, I'm gonna be like, who the hell is that?
True.
What is that shit? I want to see that guy more. It's like, I don't know. That's just me.
Understandable. Well, since you've already mentioned your hatred for season 10, what are some of the biggest changes that you look forward to in season 10, and some changes that you absolutely hate?
So early preseason, I hated the game and I kind of stopped playing it. I kind of went to the support role in mid, but recently I've been getting back into jungle. Actually, not that bad. It's just severely watered down. It is just like you clear your camps and then you gank. And if you can't gank, then you just take the dragon. And it's like really just this, I don't know, it feels too easy now. It just feels so, maybe it's just because like I'm good at jungle, but I'm consistently 3 to 4 levels up on the enemy jungler. And that's just never something that maybe like could happen because of catch-up XP. Like maybe I've just evolved. The one thing about League is it's really hard to tell when you're like improving and when you're not, because you just don't feel it. It's not like other games where it's like, it's finally clicked. It's like this very slow, methodical until it turns into muscle memory. So I think I'm at a point where it's like, this is fine. I think obviously there's some champions who are just really overpowered and need to be toned down. Mage items, really bullshit, need to be toned down.
True.
Like, you shouldn't be building percent damage HP, true damage, with AP. That also gives you 1k HP and a slow, like, also healing reduction, on top of like 40% CDR. Oh, and there's an item that gives you 20% CDR and infinite mana and burst damage with a really good amount of AP. It's like, mage items, they don't need the HP. Gut the HP. Stop. They aren't bruisers.
True.
Like, they're damage oriented. Mages are damage oriented. They should not be tanks. Remove the weird 600 HP bullshit you had from building damage items on mages. Those need to be toned down. Obviously, there's some tier 1 champions right now that are simply just BS. Senna needs to be gutted. Echo needs to be gutted. Olaf needs to be gutted. These are just champions that Riot. Are they on break right now? I don't know what they're doing. They're like farting in each other's faces at Riot right now.
They're busy. They're busy paying the $10 million fine.
But yeah, I think those are the main issues. I think in terms of balance, like, Rift Herald is balanced pretty much. Like, I enjoy it. Dragons, for the most part, are pretty balanced. The map changes are pretty balanced. Like, yeah, you could play Rengar into an ocean map, but you could also play Rengar into an infernal map where there's less bushes. I think there should be less bushes in infernal map. Like, they should take out more bushes, but, you know. Because the thing, like, if you look at the ratio from, like, ocean map to Infernal. Ocean map, the entire map is covered in bushes. Infernal, there's like 2. I think the red buff bushes are gone, and the blue buff bushes are also gone. That's like 4 bushes in total. So like, if you really want to make it sort of balanced, then you should do it like that. I think the RNG is still bullshit. RNG needs to be removed from the game entirely. It just shouldn't exist. I hate it. Everyone hates it. No one likes it except for like brainless, low IQ tards. But those are the people who are gonna get the game catered towards them. Omnistone, remove it, dude. Remove RNG. Remove RNG Drakes. Tell me exactly what Drakes are spawning. This will make playing objective junglers really good. This is a buff to Nuna. This is a buff to Sejuani. This is a buff to Udyr, while also making champions like Shaco, making all the assassins less strong. Because if you're going to play those, and you've seen an Infernal Drake as the first buff, well, then you got to forego refillable potion. Then you got to start health bot and pink ward, so you can drop a pink ward on the dragon so they can't steal at level 4. You know what I mean? We need to make this not this guessing game. It's like, I wonder what Drake it's going to be. Is it going to be Wind Drake at 3 or 3 Drakes? So like Hecarim would be really good. I don't know. Maybe I should pick Rengar here because Ocean Drake's gonna be really good. And this changes the banning system. It's like, oh, well, Ocean Drake is gonna be the map if they get it. So maybe we prioritize Rengar as a pick here. It's like, oh, well, Inferno Drake is gonna be, so Rengar's not gonna be so strong. Maybe I should consider something else. Add strategy into the game, skill cap, game knowledge, where it's like, okay, we know the bushes are gone. This is that. This, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But that will probably never be a thing. They'll just consider you like. But what if, what if Ornn did more damage? It's like, who the fuck cares about Ornn? It's like, true. Yeah, but what if, I don't know, like mages had more HP? It's like, why? Yeah, we're gonna have Xerath like 5 AD. What? Like all these weird changes that nobody really cares about. But that's just because Riot's incompetent. But we'll see. True.
Now, moving on to the streaming side of League of Legends, who are your favorite streamers?
I'd say Rat IRL.
Rat IRL?
T1, and then probably Chase Shaco. It's probably the only people that I really watch. Oh, and Dom. I Will Dominate. Those are probably my favorite streamers. The only people that I really watch consistently.
Sounds like a very infested taste in L9 streamers.
It's just because, like, they have personality. It's like,
yeah.
It's like T1. I've played with T1. Dude's a major asshole. But the thing is, he knows he's an asshole, and he says that he's an asshole, and I respect that shit a lot. I don't like playing with like people who just have this weird, because you'll see it all the time. Hey guys, how's it going? Blah 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 here, and today we're gonna have a really good, fun time playing League of Legends. And as you can see, I'm in the top lane, and I'm 0-8, and that's okay. We're having a good time. I'm like sitting there. I'm like, you're not a real person. Like, there's no way you're happy this amount of time. I was here 2 weeks ago, and you're still the same. Hi guys, my wife left me, and she took the kids, but that's okay. We're having fun, and it's like, you're not real. Versus like T1, who's like, Shaco support, ward over here, you're fucking retarded. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, all right. Next day, it's good mood, wow, Shaco support, you did really good. Oh, okay, yeah, hey, how's it going? You know what I mean? Like, personality, it's like, I don't know, I just prefer that over the fucking...
Sounded a lot like Groscore there.
Groscore is just delusional. I don't... Dude, I don't know about that guy, but... I don't have any opinion on Groscore. That was more like the Brofresco clone. 79. It's like, what's the difference between like Brofresco, Red Mercy, and Panzer Dragon? What's the difference?
Not much, I guess.
Can anyone tell me? What, like, okay, Panzer Dragon's a win trader, Red Mercy's garbage, and Brofresco died. It's like, that's like the only thing you got. In terms of personality, they're all the same. Hey guys, so today, blah blah blah, having a good time. That's okay. We're really happy. Oh man, I'm kind of upset. It's like, shut the fuck up. Call me an asshole, man. Have some like opinion. Have some like designated. Oh, this is who this person is. This person is X, Y, or Z. Not this person is also happy all the time and has no like dissenting opinion. Has nothing that could be considered like controversial. Never does anything that could be outside the lines of like kosher. It's like, this is so gay. It's like, I don't care for it.
Well, would you be able to name certain streamers that you absolutely dislike or hate?
I absolutely dislike or hate. I don't think I hate I hate playing with. Not really. I don't really care. Like outside of the game, I have no like qualms with anyone.
Yeah.
It's like inside the game, it's all like competition. Like I get it. We're gonna have back and forth. I'm gonna think you're an idiot. I don't enjoy playing with Hotshot GG, but I'm not high enough elo for him to actually get into my game, so it's okay. But like that dude would play Ash top, go 0-8 every game. He's like, oh, I'm doing really well with it. It's like, no, you're getting carried every game. You're an idiot, and you got my honor 2 taken away because I called you fat. Like, yeah, I don't like you. I don't like playing with you. But then I get in a game with him like 2 games later, and it's like we're fine because the game is over. Like, it's not really like this personal qualm. Like, people would be like, I hate playing with Hashinshin. It's like I don't mind Hashinshin. People who I enjoy playing, like I play games with Tobias Fate sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I like playing with that dude because most of the time he's trying his best. Tyler 1, same thing. Most of the time he's trying his best. I like players who try. I don't like streamers who are just like, I'm a cutie pie. Like I think I got into a game with him one time and he was playing like Mord top, and it was fine because like it was cool. I was like, oh, I'm at cutie. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I was like, I love you, cutie. Send me smiley face. I was like, say it back or I'm in. And he said it back, and I was like, oh, this is funny.
I mean, you gave him no option.
Yeah, and then he was like playing Mord top, and I was like, wait a minute, you're not a Mord top player. And it was kind of like one of those. Well, now I kind of don't want you in my game. Same thing,
Yikes.
Casual streamer. I don't, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Now, moving forward to an interesting streaming question. We know about your stream with Yasuo. Can you tell us more about it? How did you get in the game? How did it turn into a 2-3 series game? What happened after that? And do you think it made you famous?
I got recognized like a lot for it. In terms of like fame, I mean, I guess like subjectively, like people recognize me a lot. I don't feel famous. Is what it is. In terms of like what happened was, so the first game, I was doing with Ostrich, which is a streamer and a Grandmaster's Lucian player.
Nice.
And he was going at it with my duo. So Yasuo and Mo were arguing. And if you look at the games, there's like this 12-minute video where it like details the whole thing, where it goes from like second 1 to the very end when we're flaming each other. And that first game, I was like, guys, stop tilting. Guys, please just play the game. Guys, stop tilting. Don't just mute each other. I was trying really hard to like calm the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually it gets to a situation where Yasuo tilts and he goes top lane and he just starts like inting, he just starts throwing the game, and he's just sarcastic. He's like, oh well, this is the right play because my bot lane did this, my blah blah blah. Because we got like level 1 killed that game. And I don't remember why. I just know that I'm pretty sure I walked into a bush that was unwarded and I died. And it was just kind of like one of those things. It was like, fuck. Well, it happens.
Even in high
elo,
then, damn.
Yeah, and then the next game, I think he's on the enemy team.
Mm-hmm. That's the one that he had on the YouTube. He didn't show the previous game.
Yeah, I saw that. He was like, oh, I can't wait to take these guys elo. And it comes down to it. And eventually we like kill him or something, and me and him we literally type sit in the all chat just to fuck with him, just because you know how it be sometimes.
Yeah, of course.
You in our last game, sit dog, and then he's losing obviously, so he's very quiet, and then suddenly he starts winning the game. They get the Baron buff. The Baron buff secured. And it's like as our Nexus is exploding, now he feels the need to type. And he's like, it was pretty cringe, honestly. He's like, woof, 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 you hear me, doggy? Woof, woof, woof. Sit, what? I can't hear. It was just like, first off, bro, like, yeah, you're copying T1 again. I get it. Jock in the cock, practically slobbing on it. I get it. Your whole shtick is that, just being like a T1 clone, but a little like, a little darker, a little taller. I get it. With a beard, we get it.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to be like weird and cringe about it. And I wasn't mad, but I wanted to see how far I could go. And I was just like, what did I type? I wish I could see you IRL, was what I typed. I just sent that. Wasn't even mad, was completely neutral to it. I was like, I wonder how much of a response I can get. And he just lost it. He's like, see me in the end game chat. So I'm nervous. I'm kind of scared because I did not think that this would be the reaction I got simply for me typing, I wish I could see you IRL right now.
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that. Or like, I'll fuck you up IRL or something like that. Some weird like cringy sort of like low IQ, low hanging branch insult. Really easy bait. Hit on it like immediately. And so
100%.
we get into the end game chat. He invites me. I'm like typing up a bunch. I'm nervous. I'm like, oh shit! It's like I'm subbed to you on fucking YouTube. Like I watch your Twitch
Mm-hmm.
quite a bit. This is kind of a crazy ordeal. I hope I can make this entertaining. And so we start going at it. I think for the most part I win the exchange only because like he's just super emotional. He's like, show me a picture.
Yeah.
His like voice is cracking. He's like very obviously
Yeah.
upset. I'm very obviously baiting him. I think T1 said something like along the lines of like, after he said like I'll fuck you up on some UFC shit. He's like, Mo thinks he could throw down with like Muhammad Ali at this point. Dude's been going to the gym for like 2 weeks. It's like, stuff like that. But I like Mo. I don't really think anything of him outside of it. It's like I just think that was a funny interaction. But like I said, as it goes with games, is I forgot about it. The game, the next game. It's just that's just how it goes.
He seemed pretty angry while streaming. If you see the YouTube clip, he was angry from the end of the game. In the chat, he exploded in like the end game lobby with you guys. He exploded on that. He was like, "Sit down, dog."
His voice was cracking. He was like screaming at me, threatening to hurt me. It's like, first off, you are the least threat. I know you've never been in a fight because fights are not on some UFC type shit. If you think it's some UFC type shit, you don't know what a real fight is.
Mm-hmm.
Second off, you're skinny. You're a nerd. You've been going to the gym for like 2 weeks. You need someone else to help you lift up. What was it, like 145? Like, come on, you're not threatening. This dude's got like a massive ego. LA Mo, weird champ. Stop threatening me. I'm just gonna laugh at you. If you saw me in real life, you wouldn't say this to me. I promise you. But besides from that, it's like you're so angry, man. Like you are really genuinely angry. And it's almost like how it was with T1. I don't know if you saw this like Twitch Rivals, but they had like some weird scuffle on stage where like T1 was obviously joking, but you could genuinely see the anger and like resentment in Mo's eye. It was like kind of off-putting.
Yeah,
like, you got a weird ego, dude. Like relax. Like you're a Twitch streamer, thousands of views. You play video games for a living, my guy. Yeah, you got like 1,000. You got millions, maybe. You're really rich. You sit in a chair. You play video games for a living. That's who you are. Don't have an ego about it. This is what we all are. Don't have an ego about it. You're not the shit. Don't listen to all these stupid, people enjoy your shit. People enjoy your shit. I get it. But you don't need to, you're not, not some like superstar level fucking, oh my God, is that Mo? Is that Mo? He sits in his chair and plays video games on camera? It's like, you're good at the game. Yeah, he's really good at the game. I think he's like a really good mid laner. You don't have an ego. Relax, bud. You know what I mean? Don't let the money get to your head. Don't let LA get to your head. But that was just, it was weird for me. I wasn't expecting him to get baited that hard. And I think most people were like, yeah, that was kind of excessive. Even though I'm the one who set it off. He was perfectly in the right. Yeah. I am the first one who said some shit. Most people were like, yeah, that was pretty weird.
No, but he's also looked upon, right? He's supposed to be the streamer. He's supposed to be the chill guy, but then he goes on to do that. And then on Twitch Rivals, you could see when Tyler 1 was chill. He was just doing it for the entertainment. But you could see that Mo was getting triggered. He was, he looked like he was ready to physically fight him. That's how he looked.
Yeah, man, that dude's obviously got some ego problems going on, but I don't hate the guy.
Well, he got trashed in the last Twitch Rivals tournament. T1's team, James Jungle God Tarzan.
James Jungle God.
Super top Hashinshin.
Yeah, if only. Yeah, I just think it was funny. I don't,
Oh yeah.
I don't know about him. I don't really care anymore. It's so old. I don't even know how old it is, but it's like, in terms of fame, I mean, people recognize me a lot. I don't know how good it is to be recognized. Oh, you're that dude who flamed Mo? It's like,
I mean, hey.
Yeah.
Toxic players will look up to you for that. I mean,
yeah. I mean, you got the whole like L9 shit. Oh, he's so toxic. It's like,
respect.
I mean, yeah.
L9 invading Mo.
L9 invading, yeah, pretty much.
Now, moving forward to wrap up this podcast, I have the last few set of questions. So, can you explain or can you give an advice on how to climb out of each elo till either Masters or even Challengers, starting from the bottom, from Iron, Bronze? Quick facts, how to climb out.
How to climb out of each elo?
Each elo, yes.
I've never been below gold.
Ooh.
But so I can only really start there. I can imagine it kind of falls along the same lines. It's just like I don't even know what to say. There's just like so many things. I guess like the basic things to focus on are like probably try not to die as much. A lot of people have this tendency where they just want to fight constantly.
In gold.
Learn when the good fights are. Like in gold, just see it a lot. Like people like they'll try to trade with you in like a minion wave. They'll just start fighting you, and it'll be like, but you lose this because the minion wave out damages my auto attacks and abilities because we're level 2. It's like stuff like that. Warding, CSing is really important. Just work on CSing, work on not dying, work on warding, not dying to jungle ganks. You know, get powerful. Fight after you've bought items, not before. If you have like 3k gold in the bank, and you're looking at this dude and you're like, I want to fight him, you probably shouldn't because you don't actually have a lead yet because you need to spend the money to get the items to then get the lead. Stuff like that. I mean, it's really just subjective on the player. Like somebody like me, where it was my mental was the worst part of me, but my mechanics were really good. Mm-hmm. It's going to be different evolution where it's like, oh, I just need to learn to accept game losses. I need to not tilt. Somebody who doesn't tilt and already accepts game losses need to learn mechanics. You know, stuff like that.
Works like a formula.
Yeah.
So, what are the most common reasons for people to fail climbing or just give up on it?
Tilt. People think they're a lot better than they actually are, and they overlook that. It's really hard to sit down and like critique your own play style and say this is the worst part of my play. Mm-hmm. So I think people get really frustrated when they think they're really good, and then they keep losing. They can't really climb, and then it like fucks with their ego or whatever, and they have like a mental breakdown. So I'd say getting over that hurdle is really important if you want to climb. Actually putting in the time and like memorizing it, because this game is really difficult to get good at. It's not like any other game I've played. It's like Call of Duty, you can just kind of like play 40 games and you kind of like got it. You kind of got it down. This game is like I've played over like 3,000 games most likely.
Ooh.
Plus. I think I've played like 1,700 this season alone.
Damn.
And I just hit Masters. Granted, I started in Season 6, but that should tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, wow, you got Masters? You started in Season 6? That's impressive. That's like a 4-year time just to get good at a single game. It's like, this shit takes a lot of time, takes a lot of practice, takes a lot of brain power, and it's not easy to get good at. And the process of getting good at it is like even worse because you're sitting there and you're the moment you mess up, it's an uphill battle from there. So you're trying to really work on these mistakes. When you make these mistakes, it's harder to like fix the mistakes, and then you start making more mistakes. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like builds on itself until you get to a point where like you play pretty much perfectly. Yada yada yada. You're making the correct decisions. Oh, I messed up here, but I know the decision now out of this. Stuff like that. I say that's the main thing. It's like don't tilt, focus. This game is really hard. Takes a lot of time to get good at. You're not gonna pick it up just because you YouTube how to become top 10 tips to become the best jungler, and you watch all of them and you like write them down in your notes and you keep them on the second monitor and you look to them. It's like, yeah, that'll help. It's gonna take a lot more than that. It's gonna take time because League is essentially just muscle memory. So whenever you work something new into that, you have to, it takes time memorizing it, learning it, keeping it in your head until eventually it's just part of your basic play. So stuff like that.
Are there any resources that really helped you on your journey in the Rift or in the ranked ladder?
What do you mean resources?
Any resources like coaching from someone, using u.gg extensively, watching YouTube guides? So
I think in terms of like improving play, I'm at a point where I'm good enough to recognize what I'm doing wrong. If I would just sit down and like watch it. I tried getting coaching from like Chase Shaco and Scrubnu, but they ended up like falling through. So I was pretty much just forced to like look at my own play and decide what was the worst. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was the realization that I'm pretty much doing everything right, and that really fucked with me because like it should be obvious. It's like, okay, this rotation was bad. I shouldn't be ganking so much. This fight's here. It's like I'm doing all the right things. So why is it? Why do I not feel like I'm improving? And then dawns on you, it's like because the play isn't the problem, the mental is. It's like I'm tilting really hard, and then I'm making these stupid decisions. Then I'm inting, I'm picking disco Nunu, and I'm losing LP. And okay, so this is what we have to fix. So I think in terms of resources, watch streamers. This was something that I did a lot. So like I started off watching like Shakelone, and then I'd watch like Pink Ward, and then I watch like Chase Shaco, and learning all these different play styles. And don't go into ranked with a new with a new play style. So what a lot of people will do is, for some reason, they just feel like if they're not playing ranked, they're wasting their time. This is wrong. You can practice your play wherever you go. You play Twisted Tree Line, pick your champion, and just focus on your mechanic. Go, you know what I mean? Do your thing. Just sit in the practice tool and just like learn whatever weird mechanic your champion has. Don't feel the need to start losing LP. I'd say if you're gonna pick up like a new playstyle, a new tip, a new trick, a new champion, anything, play like 50 games of like a norm with it first, then take it into ranked. Because it's a completely different beast. You watch the YouTube video, you watch the streamer. Something that I picked up recently was from Scrub Noob, which was invading the red, being very aggressive and fighting over the red. And I played like a norm. I was Ash. Like I don't play Ash in ranked. I was with my friends, and I was like, I want to try this out, see how it works. We ended up getting 2 kills, getting the red. It was an easy victory from there. It's like, okay, so that's how that worked. That is like the best case scenario.
Yeah.
It is okay, getting comfortable with that playstyle, making it muscle memory, making it this thing where it's not like this active thought. It's just a play. You know what I mean? It's just like like with anything, like with chess. It's like, oh well, I want to start with a queen pawn opening. I can start with a king pawn opening. I could, fiend keto. I this many plays. I have the London system. I have the Italian game. You know what I mean? Adding these things to your repertoire, improving your play, rounding out your play. Don't feel the need to go into ranked for it and start losing LP and start tilting and start losing your head. It's like, take it slow, take the time, go into a norm, practice it, watch streamers, watch people who are better than you, understand you're not as good as you think you are, and just put in the time, put in the resources. U.GG, I don't OP.GG my team at all. Ooh. I just don't care at all. I don't care. I am purely focusing. I'm at a point where I should be able to carry every single game no matter what. So I'm going to be focusing on that every single game no matter what. So if my mid laner wants to int, fine. That's okay. Do your thing. That's not going to tilt me. I'm not going to lose my mental. I'm going to focus on my play. This is what I've learned. I'm going to try to be as good as adding these things. It's like I don't look at builds. I'm thinking before the game, like, what do these things do? How do what do we think is the best? Simply because of where I'm at. For somebody lower elo, I would say like go to U.GG, look at Diamond Plus. What are the runes they're taking? Think about why they're taking these runes. Think about like why they're building these certain things. And certain like picks. So I guess not everyone is like a one trick like me. Well, I'm not really a one trick, but has like a pretty basic champion pool. I only play like assassins and stealth champions just because that's what I enjoy. So understand what champions you can play in certain situations. So if your team is all AD and you're like about to pick Shaco, but you can also play Eve, pick like Eve, little stuff like that. Learning when to pick certain things, why you're picking certain things, understanding the game at a foundational level, stuff like that.
Well, that's all for the questions I had. I had one question come in from Anna. She was asking about what are your views on the new champion. I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
Oh, Philios?
Yeah.
Needs numbers taken down. He should be a high skill cap champion, but he's not because all of his things just one-shot everything. So it's like it doesn't really matter what you pick. It just all kills things regardless. You can just kind of like smash your buttons and just kill everything around you regardless. So once they take down his numbers, he'll be a really high skill cap marksman, and it should be pretty fun to play against.
And do you think he will surpass Azir's skill cap level?
Nah, I don't think so.
So Azir still remains king.
Wait, what?
So Azir still remains the king of skill cap.
Skill cap?
I mean, the hardest champion to master is still Azir since he's been released.
Azir, hardest champion to master.
That's what all pro players, all the internet websites such as .esports, they all say the same thing.
I mean, maybe. He just seems like one of those champions where like he has a weird mechanical niche. Once you figure that out, it's pretty self-explanatory. But I could be wrong. Azir is one of the champions I've never played.
Oh,
but I play like really high, like Count Arena, Rengar, Shaco. I'd consider a high skill ceiling. Pretty easy to pick up, but he's got a lot of plays to make. Azir, every play kind of seems like straightforward. It's like, what do you have? The Shurima Shuffle.
Yeah.
Other than that, you're an ADC who's a mage. It's like, okay. With a dash and a shield. You're pretty much just Kaisa with a Shurima Shuffle mechanic. It's like, maybe. Maybe I'll pick a Zero one time. And be like, oh, this is really weird.
Yes.
But yeah, for now, I don't really know. I don't know much about Zero to say if he'll be harder than Aphelios or not. I could be wrong.
Well, that's the wrap for this podcast. Thank you very much, Pennywise, for attending and being the first guest. I hope you enjoyed the questions.
Yeah, for sure.
And thank you guys for tuning in. I will now head out as well. I will be back later on at night. We'll be starting my stream series again where I play on EUNE. So tune in for that.